Hey everybody, good morning. How's it going? Everybody survived yesterday? I mean, it was ugly, but like I said, that wasn't the crash. It's not, I mean, widely purported as a crash, but it's not a crash. Like, just hate to break it to you. A crash is much more violent and worse. And today, not so sure. Not so sure. I guess I need to just jump into it and start talking about it because can we get turnaround Tuesday? I don't know. The Japanese markets turning around, having giant moves up, hitting circuit breakers to the upside, but I don't know if that's going to continue over here because all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. That means I may never get another thing right again, um, which kind of suck, but that's the way it works. And this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything. All right, no stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You know, every trade, winner, loser, buyer, seller. 50-50 odds if you don't have any kind of edge. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor, and make sure you trust them. All right. The calendar for the week is pretty benign. Pretty much not much on here. Here's today, not much on there. Here's tomorrow, not much on there. Here's Thursday, not much on there. And there's Friday. So, economic news wise, not much cooking. Eric, Rosalind, Rex, Sergio, Stephen, Arturo, Merle, Maurizio, Eric, Donald, Wade, Francois, Gary, Diane, David, Sledge, good to see everybody. General Rush, good to see us. Gaston, Brian, Laura, Ted, and Nikki, Indy, Valerie, Major John, good to see you. Don, excuse me, Mark, Darren, James, Robert, good to see everybody. And if you want to chat with me like everybody on the live stream, flip over here, click the button right here. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat and say, hey, good morning, everything like that. And remember, 5 p.m. today, I do 30 minutes of awesome where I take your requests for at least 30 minutes, 5 p.m. Eastern. Set a reminder after the market closes. And I got to have people there to do a good show. So, the big question, can we get turnaround Tuesday today? And it may be evident right here. This is a cautionary chart right here. This price action off this low. Look at this right here. I was optimistic going into the close. We were rallying after the close. The close happened right in there. It was right there. Right there. Rallying pretty strong, but we did this. This low, this high, this low. We didn't even make it to the 100% extension of the first move up. The excitement petered out pretty quickly at the roadmap line. Not too good, as I say. Not too good at all. And this represents a 3-wave move. So, if you don't understand what I'm saying, that move, this correction, that was very 3-wavy. And then this move right here, that's 3. Now, the problem is the trend is down. Very solidly down. This would be a 3-wave correction. 3-wave moves are corrective in nature. Continuation is lower. All right. How much lower? That's the bummer part. Not to be a big bummer, but I would be remiss if I didn't kind of give everybody what I see. So here's the support zone. We got to hold here, right here, line in the sand, right around 51.90 on ES. Maybe like, what the fudge is ES? That's S&P 500 futures. You can pull it up on TradingView for free. ES1 exclamation point right there. That's the S&P 500 futures. Now, why am I using futures? Well, if we go look at SPX, it stopped at 4 p.m. Eastern time. All that other price action is missing. It doesn't open for 10 more minutes. That's the cash index. So, looking at the futures, not too good. Looking at this, it doesn't tell squat. Now, could we rally? Could. Could it break above? Could. Just throwing the warning out there before we even get started. That, I wanted to see this finish 5 up to indicate a reversal. That's not what we got right now. So, need to be very, very careful. Targets on the downside could be right down here if we break down. A lower low could be in the cards. Could be in the cards. Hey, welcome, George Tim. First time on the live stream. Love first time viewers. Without new people all the time, can't grow. So, welcome to the stream. This is what I do. Look at price action, give you technical analysis, make predictions. Some of them have unfortunately come true more often than not. Right here, we had a big prediction on ES. I've already removed the target because we basically smashed it right there. Last week, I kind of warned that we may see a big down. And big down is in fact what we got. Now, let's talk about what we've got right now. I'll just remove these drawings. We'll start over fresh. Same pattern I always watch for. Now, interestingly enough, yesterday we got a green candle right into the roadmap line. This roadmap line is a support resistance line. All right. If you want to know more information about that, links in the description for $5, or you can go watch the video on the YouTube on my YouTube channel homepage. It says my favorite indicator. That's the roadmap line right there. This one right here. I love this thing. It's support resistance. We stay above it. Even though we poke below it, we tend to bounce off of it. But if we get below it, we tend to respect it on the downside until we break through. It's just an example. I chase these patterns all over the place in the markets. You know, why does it work? I don't know. Why do you have hair on top of your head? I mean, we could debate this all day. But right here, this high, this low, here's the resistance. Right here, if we rally up to that zone and stop, anywhere in that orange, right there, maybe even should color it red, like Rongamer told me last night, to put a danger zone on here, or a red one. This is the danger zone. This is like serious danger, because if you thought yesterday was a crash, if we do that, we set up the potential for that, like a real crash. Like that, we're talking about 800 points. Possibly it could be as bad as like 1,500 points. Possibly it could be that bad. All starts with the rally back up to this zone. If we respect that zone and don't break through it, we're in for a world of hurt. Now, this drop that we're in right now should conclude, if it didn't conclude yesterday, it should conclude in the next couple of days. We should experience at least a week, if not 2 weeks, of rally to test this zone or break through, one or the other. If we can't break through, watch out. All right, that's a serious market warning. This is like what we kind of saw coming into COVID and lots of other big potential crash type situations in the market. This was just the first move. This was the C wave of the first move. All right, this would be a B wave correction, and this would be a C wave of the bigger move. Like this was just a little first move. 1, 2, 3. We do a 1, 2, 3 up, and we may do this will be the 1, this will be the 2, and this will be the 3 down. So the violence that we saw here will be amplified in this move if we turn down correctively out of this. All right. It's not like a time frame. It's not like by 4 p.m. we're all clear, anything like that. We've seriously got to watch out, right? There's no clear, like we need ES and S&P to clean this up, break through that resistance. All right. If we can't do it, it's not going to be good. Not going to be good. Now, this can make a lower low. It might make it today, might make it tomorrow, might make it, Thursday. If we don't clean this up and get rid of this 3-wave potential right here. Now, this could be the other thing. This is where it gets really complicated. This could be the first move up, the retrace, and we could get a bigger 3-wave up. That move up, this retrace. Here's where it gets scary. Look where that puts us. I know I just drew it on the S&P chart, but it's the same zone right here. This zone right here, that's the red zone. If we do that, we retrace to here, we bounce up here and stop. This is all coming together. This is time to be very, very careful in the market. We may experience a crash, and it may be coming in a couple weeks, maybe a week, or could be a week away, could be 2 weeks away. I'm very, very cautious about this right now. If we do this and then this, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. If we break down below this, it'll just reset all this. We'll have to do it again. Go retest whatever, this fib line will adjust slightly. I'm being very, very serious about this potential right now on the chart. Hopefully everybody understands. If you got questions, please ask them. Please be very clear about what your question is. This is very important right now. This felt like a crash, wasn't a crash. If we set this up, this will be a crash. This follow through. All right. With the stock market taking a turn, do you think it will cause people to invest more into crypto? Absolutely not. This will be a liquidation event. This would be like COVID liquidation event. Everything will get liquidated. Everything. All right, that's the potential of this crash. Like COVID, maybe worse than COVID. Maybe not as fast. Bigger. All right, I'm 100% serious right now. Not joking, not kidding around, This is present on the chart, and it's kind of scary. Everybody clear? Everybody good? All right. We got stuff moving. We got stuff popping. We got stuff dropping. S5FI staying in the wedge. Amazingly, even with the down day yesterday, hanging in the wedge. Interesting. S5TH breaking. Look at that. Breaking the shoulder, head, shoulder, whatever the heck that is. That can flush down. That can return to the bottom very easily. 20. S5TW. Sell. S5TW coming down pretty quickly. we may see that push a little bit lower before we can bounce in the intermediate right there. That stocks above the 220-day. S5 FI stocks above the 50-day, and S5TH stocks above the 200-day. Why am I looking at these? Kind of gives you the feel. And maybe I should pull this one up here to the top. Then we have 20, 50, 200. That's kind of like the fastest one right here. A little bit slower, and then a lot of bit slower. All right. I didn't even read all those alerts. And newest first, Chewy, BTBT, Hut, Snow. And XSM. I was a buy. That one's a close. That one's a close. All right. Moving on. So we've talked about ES. NQ. A little bit different, but still very much the same. Finding support at what could be the support. This is the one that maybe doesn't look as bad. All right. Moved up. That was a higher low, just slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slight overlap, kind of a diagonal. In futures, there's allowed a slight overlap between the 4 and the 1, but with the depth of this, it looks more like a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retracing. We need wrong fib tool. Cool. Need to hold this zone right on here. If you're not familiar with NQ, that's just S&P 500 futures. Need to hold this one right here. If we're gonna correct it all, hold that. Should be the vicinity of this. Could be as deep as down here, and then turn higher. We need to break above the 618 retrace of the whole big down, which at this point, I'm gonna have to pull this down here. That zone comes in right in there where we topped just last Wednesday. Got to break above that. And that just happens to be where the downtrend line comes in. Downtrend high is coming across here. So need to break above that to indicate we're going higher. If we don't, we turn down at that zone. That can result in a bigger down also on NQ. How much bigger, you might say? Let's zoom out and look at it. Excuse me. Monster talking back to me. That high, that low, that point right there could easily flush us down right here, 14.4. And the bigger down. Back to 10,000. All right. Dun, 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 dun. You should check out what's happening in Japan this mom, because you didn't write all the letters. Yeah, I talked about Japan yesterday. It's they're big up today. USD, JPY. I don't know that it matters. I mean, they're getting a bounce, but taking it back quickly on the yen. You look at it. Here's the low. Here's the high. Here's support right down here. This may just be a little bounce on the way down to there. Don't think it matters. We're below the roadmap line and probably going down. All right, just a little reprieve before we get more flush. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. I'm just warning you what's going on in the U.S. markets, because that's where I can trade. This did exactly what I warned about. If we get any kind of continuation below this low, we're on the path. We're on the path. And at this point, let's just clean it up and look at this. This one's been in a big correction. This has been the warning. I've said that a lot. That was the first move down. Here's the retrace. Pushed it a little high, but that was a 3-wave up. The problem here, the scary, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. Look at that. Right here would be the target zone. Here's the crash. We haven't done it yet. Just the first initial signal. We get the retrace. The next leg down can be there. Same pattern as always. That retrace back up to 21, 20, almost 22. Flush. All right. These are setting up in the chart. It's pretty scary. Everything's kind of coming together. In Q, Russell, ES, they're all aligning. Even though they're micro count, a smaller time frame, 5-minute, 15-minute, not necessarily on the same page yet. They'll get there. Oil looks like we're going to push this right here. 66 would be my guess. Could it exceed it? Yeah, could. Somewhere around 66, 67, maybe in 65, somewhere right in there. That's what I expect right now on oil. Lower low than what we had right back here. Right back here in December. That's what it looks like we're going to do. GC. It's getting a retrace. Not doing much right there. Not doing much at all. This one may come back to the roadmap line. We haven't been there in quite a while. We're holding this uptrend of highs pretty tightly right there. And if we break back below this kind of what I call a flip point, where highs, high support. If we break down below that, we'll probably come back down to this 22, maybe 2300 area right here to hunt for support on gold. It may be part of this whole liquidation event I'm talking about. This could go even deeper, could poke down well into the 2200 area. Bitcoin, this one can flush also. 3800 has long been my support zone, and we'll just clean it up here. We'll just all the things I've said, and I just removed all the things. All right. Put a few things back. Having was right here on the 19th of April. Now, 220 days on average later, which will be right here, is usually when we do the breakout. Oh, that was too many bars. It's 220 days. 220 days, which would be right in there. There we go. Better spot. It's right around Thanksgiving in the US. All right. I forget futures doesn't trade. I'm on the futures chart, not the spot chart. Now, we made a higher high. Okay. This could be part of a ABC, and we could see a lower move lower. That's the caution. But here's the deal. That low, that high. Here's the support zone right here. Right in there. Now, if we extend off of what we've got, 38 could be the bottom. Could go down as low as 28. Could even go down to 22. I don't expect us to break 25 again, but we might. So that's the cautionary point there. We could see a mass liquidation event shape up here. Hey, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber in the house. And Ethereum has support down here at 17, but if we start breaking that, we could go lower low. Back down into the triple digits. Not good on Ethereum. DXY, probably on a path back down to the mid-90s. Mass liquidation event potential all over the place. All right. I thought a weak dollar was good for the stock market. Looks like it's not. We've got to pull back and the dollar pull back. Be careful out there. Hey, Finley. Niece Finley. And there's the high. There's the low. Right back above the 618. Set it up to go up to 2000 on MSTR. Did not make a lower low. Still biased up. And this correction over here, since it's bigger, still in play with 2200, 2300, possibly 3000. Still in play. ASML. Watch for that to reach down. Even though it seems to be rallying a little bit, it can easily just do a gap fill and then continuation. You can find resistance at that roadmap line, just like it did over here, and make another low. Lily, working on reversing. It's got to break above the 618 to go higher. Cat almost got to the point where I thought we would. Extend down to. Got very close. Watch for a little further. If we break above this, we can go higher, but at this point, I would want to see it go a little lower. RXST. Now, we can go make a new high in the market. Like, if we break through the resistance zone, we can make new highs. It's just, I want everybody to be aware that we're setting up a crash pattern right now. And it could flush us out. So be very, very careful. RXST. There's the resistance. This is electronic components. RX site sounds like it's biotech type stuff, though. I would be very careful. Biotech is one of those things that doesn't always follow my pattern. So anything that's like pharmaceutical, biotech type stuff, I'm always cautious. SMCI needs the bigger correction. FNGU. If we can turn it. Break back above that high. Take us to new highs. If not, watch out below. We can retrace this pretty deeply. CRWD. Leverage stuff is another one that doesn't always follow the patterns. CRWD, I really want to see this extend just a little bit lower. Find a bottom here. Then we can turn it and burn it while the rest of the market's burning it down. Now, if we do break down below here, though, this can go lower low down to the 70s. Ouch. ANET. Came down to the roadmap line. We break back above these highs right here. 390, 400 on the upside. RCL. Now, how did I make this list? I pulled up Stock Chameleon, pulled up pre-market movers at just after 9 o'clock. Pulled everything that was moving $2 or more, up or down. Everything up was on the gainers list, even though they're not holding on to their gains necessarily. Everything that was down $2 or more pre-market on the decliners list. So some of these have given up their gains already, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So RCL potentially going to bounce off this roadmap line right here, this orange line, break back above the 618, and this consolidation here takes up here 179, 186 area. Uber, that looks pretty bearish, although it did tag. Man, it hit almost exactly the middle of that. That's pretty amazing. So that came from that right there. That could have been a corrective move. Wrap this up, launch off. Need to see it break back above this consolidation right in here. Break back above that. Set us up for extensions. 91, 100, 105, 4, 5. Coin was popping. Now it's dropping. That was the bounce I was hoping for. I mean, that was the retrace I was hoping for. And we got to the zone where I was hoping for, just the top of it. Could go a little lower. Then I want to see this turn and burn. But it's not doing it yet. We're still below the roadmap line. Not picking up any position yet. Watch out for a move lower. CEG. I am very cautious in the market at the moment. Very, very cautious with that crash potential setting up. CEG, retrace, break above here, 205, 250 on the upside. EDU. Right there. Got to get above this to go up to 112 potential. ADSK. That's just chopping. Chopping sideways. Not really doing anything constructive at this point. Maybe working on a bounce. We could need a little lower, but it's still just trading in the middle of all this chop that it's had. So I'm not very much excited about that right there, because that can break down and go lower low. This could be the first move down, the retrace, and it can get the next move down to a lower low than we had right back there. CVNA. Why I don't really like choppy sideways stuff, because it's not clear on a direction, and we could go lower just as easily as we can go higher. And this is finding a lot of resistance here and needs to correct it back out. This did not participate in the market flush out, the market route yesterday. So watch out for that to retrace at this point. If we can get some constructive action back above 140, we could extend it to 160, 165, 180 right there. Yeah, I make no changes on my crypto trades. I got in, the last big changes I made to my crypto trades. Let me recycle here. The last big changes were back here. Right around in here. I'm not doing anything at this point. And I have a lot of zero cost Bitcoin. So I'm in it. Riding. Not making changes. This retrace potential doesn't bother me at all. I've ridden it all the way up. I can ride it back down here. And if I sell it, I won't get back in. I just won't, because it won't look as good as this. So that's the way I trade. If you don't trade that way, you got to make your own decisions. There's plenty of people I trade with that can make twists and turns inside the big moves, but if I liquidate now, I won't buy back in. I just won't. I can't psychologically do it. I'll miss out. I'll be expecting lower and lower prices. Yeah, right there you can see that 39 right there on the retrace potential. This could be just a corrected move up, but we could find support there since it was support over here. That's why 38 is important. But when you do this low to this high right here, it could be down to 28. So it gives us a zone right there. Circling back to Bitcoin really quickly. See that resistance right over there, that stuff right over here, the top of that, 38. And this consolidation right here happens to line up with the 618. So that gives us the zone 28 to 38 that this may go retest and then bounce. It may. I'm just throwing it out there. We could bottom here and take off. Like, that's entirely possible also. That's why I won't buy back in, and I'll miss out. And this is a long-term trade. I actually built a lot of my position back here. Wrote it up, wrote it back down, added more. Still riding. There you go. So still long, not changing anything. Reddit has the potential to break down. So this is a fake out, potential fake out here. If we hold, break back below this low, probably going down here. If we break back above, it can go up higher again, but highly likely to extend lower. Probably right there. SMH. Looking for a bottom here, break back above 250, looking for 297 on the upside. Palantir reported banger earnings, big pop, 20% or so. But look at that. It did exactly what I was looking for. Hit the roadmap line again. Been warning about that. Tool. There we go. That high, that low. Now, I do kind of expect this to go on a bigger flush. So watch out for holding that 618. If we don't get a close above that today, this can get continuation down right here. That move. You look where it extends to. That's 1618. Right at the top of my zone. If that pushes on down, watch out for that. They reported awesome earnings and still dropped like crazy. It's not gonna matter. Just be careful on that. That's like the crash pattern, but on Palantir. NVDU, potential to reverse, but also potential to go much lower on 2x leveraged NVIDIA. AMAT, I'm trying not to sound overly optimistic on anything because I have a healthy dose of this market might do a big crash. Like I'm 100% serious. I keep saying that. Like I'm really, really serious right now. And you should be really, really evaluating whether you want to get out on a lot of your longs as we approach that retrace zone. Now, like if we break on through, or set your levels. Like if we get up there, like where am I gonna liquidate? Am I gonna write it down again? Should give you a couple weeks at least, a week to a couple weeks to figure it out before we get up there. If it goes faster than that, it's probably going to be less reliable. So if we pop up there and then turn down or whatever, we may be indicating we're going higher before we go lower. And AMAT going to have a move through 220 to go to 270. D-Dog. Huh, look at that. Has potential to go a little lower, but that can turn right there and go back higher. This could be a bottom on Datadog. 1, 2, 3. Didn't extend down quite as far as I would. See that? Same move I'm talking about on the S&P right here. Like this, we can clean this up a little bit. Remove that. Just make it a little cleaner. Make sure you can see it. See how we move down? First move down. Yeah, I've still got some lines and stuff on here, but that's the first move down right there. That's why there's a fib tool there. 3-point tool. 1, 2, 3 right there. That's that fib that's there. 3-point tool right there. That high, that low, that high, target. And we tagged the top of it. Could it go lower? Absolutely. You can go to the bottom of the target. Now, we use, for a potential reversal out of here, we draw the high, we draw the low with the 2-point tool. Right there, 2-point fib retracement tool. That high, that low, 618 zone right here. This high is important. Get above that. 146, 152, 171. Extensions higher. Now, the reason I had the other fib on there that I've turned off, look at this. That high, that low, we rallied up to that 618. First move down, second move up, third move down takes us down here, 44. This is why this is very important, what we do here. If we don't break above that resistance, 44. And you can just do it with drawing tools here too. See that first move down? Bring it over to the 618 over here. Puts us right down there. Careful on that one. I know a lot of people like trading Datadog. Be careful. Tesla has potential to bounce. Need to remove some stuff without removing all my stuff. Let's see. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Remove a few things. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Came down. So what we did here, let's just remove that. Remove that. And put that down here. That low right there. That was the important low at this point. Right there around 139.51. We rallied up. And here's the kind of marginal thing. It looks like 3 waves up. Right? Went 1, 2, 3, right to a 1272. This is where it's kind of not so sure. Because if we get continuation lower, that puts it down to potentially down to 127. $116 even possible right there. Right, that's first move up, retrace, second move up right there. And it did out to the 1272. Same pattern I've been talking about over and over. These are all corrective type patterns. Now, the beauty here is that we popped up, we retraced right there, holding here, turning back higher, breaking above here, indicates we may go up here. So it'd be the first move up, the retrace. The next move up can put us right up here. Even in a corrective type situation. This is why it's unclear right now which way it's going. This is the first move up. That's the retrace. Move this over to the low. Right there at the minimum, 348, and the extension, 416, and the further extension, 500. All right. Hassan, hey, welcome to the stream. All right, that one's coin flip. Do we break down? Do we hold it and go higher? Unsure at the moment. Unsure at the moment. I was a lot better. I was a lot more sure up here now that we've overlapped this high right back here. Now that we overlapped that, not as sure on what we're doing next. Muddied it up, as I say. Yum C, Yum China. Potential to rally up to the roadmap line right there. SVXY. Watch for this one to return back to the highs. This was the biggest move down we've had since COVID on this. Wicked move down. Now, that's my day trade right there. Check this out. So, here's COVID, right? Plummeted out. Now, this moved down 25%. See what we did? Coming days after that. Pretty nice, right? I don't remember what that one is. Yeah, 15%. See what we did in the coming days. Drop right back up. Grab the tool again. This drop. 15%. Right back up. This drop. 13%. Right back up. This pullback. 18%, 17%. Right back up. Starting to get the pattern. This one right here. 17, 16%. Right back in a few days. This one right here. 14, almost 15%. Right back up. Anybody getting the pattern? Let me know in the chat. That one, almost 15%. Right back up. This one, 25%. Didn't quite make it back up to all the way to the top before we went down again. This one, 27%. That one took a little longer. you go this one, and we recovered most of the way, not all the way. Then we took another dip. This is in 2022 when the market was getting murderized. That one dipped, came back up most of the way. 618, that's important. Watch that 618 level. It's usually where I book the profit. Don't necessarily expect it to come all the way back up. You see that 618, 786. Stopped right there. Then we went down again. Right there. 76 again. Next dip. Right there. 22%. And that one came up almost all the way again. This one right here. Another 16%er. And right back up. This one right here. Quick flash, 18%. And right back up. This one right here. 16%, right back up. Huge extension. This little baby one right here that I didn't get a piece of because it didn't go deep enough. 10, 11%. And right back up. Now we've got this one. 39%. That's the biggest one we've had since COVID. What's it going to do? Can we get a rally back up? That 76 level is now at 57 right here. So I'd watch out for anything in this 53 to 57 area. If we rally up in the market, we go test that resistance. We may only come up to here before we do another big down. All right, this is short VIX. If you've never seen this before. Very repeatable pattern, as you can see. It's one reason why, if you've seen me buy some SVXY in Discord, this is why I did it. Highly likely to get the pop back up here. If we go higher high in the market, we're going to be back up here. SOXX. Hunting for the reversal. That's iShares Semiconductors. NVIDIA, AMD getting murderized. So the AI trade. And NVIDIA had bad news about AI chips having engineering flaws and maybe delaying deliveries to important customers. Biotech may break down. This is leverage and biotech, two of the things that don't follow my patterns. SAP, we need to get the US version, not the Germany version, and may return to the roadmap line. That hit the extension, hasn't participated in the market route. SVIX, short VIX, here's another one, if you don't like SVXY, here's SVIX, you can play this one. And this one could get a return back up. Same potential right there. Watch for return back up in this zone, if not extension out to 60 and 69. TENX. You see, SVIX and SVXY is just playing this right here. Here's why that works. This does not trend. This does not go higher over time. This comes back to the baseline over time. If you've never seen this before, this is volatility index, VIX. That's what SVXY, SVIX, all those are playing on, right? The short ones make money when this comes back to zero. So when these spike, if you go long SVIX, when it returns back to somewhat normal, you make money. This doesn't stay elevated long. As you can see, it spikes and returns, spikes and returns, spikes and returns. And that's why SVXY does what it does. It spikes down and returns. It has to do with the futures contracts on the X1 exclamation point trending down over time. That, because of that forward curve, that means SVXY makes money, and it means UVXY, the leveraged volatility in the long term, this one, goes down over time because the VX1 futures contracts go up over time. So this goes down over time, and SVXY goes up over time. All right. TENX, that's a garbage chart. Reverse split. Don't mess with that. You're going to lose money. NVIDIA hit the roadmap line yesterday. If we can break back above this 121, if this rallies with the market up to resistance, we break above. That can get an extension, 150, 158, possibly 180 right there. PSTG, pure storage. Popped up, retraced. If we can get back above this 61 area, we can go up for 73, 77 up there. ARM. Looks like we may be testing resistance from below. We could get an extension lower, but if we can break above, this looks slightly impulsive more than corrective. If we can break back above the head and shoulders there, the head and shoulders sure played out. Whew. Played out plus some. Head and shoulder in there, move down. We're going to hold here, break back above here, back above those highs. We can go an extension 210, 230. Watch out for the gap fill down here, possibly going lower. TGTX, nice pop. This is a pharmaceutical stuff. Anything that FDA is involved in, that's Food and Drug Administration in the United States, it doesn't necessarily follow the patterns. They sometimes get drug approvals, denials, whatever's, bad news, drugs removed from the market. But if this thing can close above that 618 level, 23, 24 on the upside, stuff is declining. Dun, 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 dun. I trade VIX long as a hedge. I trade SVIX long after VIX pops. So it's, it's kind of like, do you play both sides? Kind of. Play VIX as a hedge, and I play SVIX as a moneymaker after volatility pops. That one's 5 waves down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very clear. This may do a 3-wave retrace into this area right here and resume the downside. That move down, repeated off of here, can take it down to 70s. UVXY, like I said, this is a declining asset. This one will probably drop back down. Could you short it? You could try. They probably have the options prices ridiculous. It's probably going to come back down here, and over the coming months, make a lower low and do another reverse split sometime if volatility chills out in the market. Unlikely this is going on higher at this point. Just look at the history of this thing with the reverse splits, and it's a declining asset because why? It's because this chart right here, futures chart, always expecting lower volatility in the future. Right? It's backwardation or contango or whichever one it is. I get the two confused. You look at the ES1 exclamation point. This is why products that sell covered calls in the future on S&P, they make money over time. Forward pricing is higher. The expectation. VX is the other way around. Forward pricing is lower. It's also why CL, the forward pricing is lower. All right. But oil doesn't return to zero every time. So a short oil futures contract thing, probably not quite as lucrative as SVXY. All right, moving on. Race. Just consolidating. Watch out for a deeper retrace on race. VXX. It's another volatility product that's reverse splits. It's a declining asset. They've liquidated this one before and replaced it. Be careful. VLDR, potential for this to be a big bounce. That actually looks pretty sweet right there. That move up, that retrace, that's potential measured bounce inside the bigger correction. Grab that high, that low. Got to break above this area to go epically higher. This could be a giant measured bounce. And we could be looking at targets up here at 300. TENK, SPAC, don't even bother. UVIX, that's a 2x leveraged VIX, and probably going to come back just like UVXY and VXX. Jima, however you say that, Jumia Technology, back to the roadmap line. That high, that low, break above the 618s. Potential to go to 17. Stuff at low price. That's another one that stuff under $10, equities under $10 don't typically always follow my pattern. All right, it's like roll the dice a little bit. Apple on the droppers list. Be careful. That did touch the roadmap line. I did warn that that was probably going to happen. Going to have to break above this where we were before earnings to go higher. 243, 249 up there. VIXI is, that's a leverage thing and probably going to come back also. CRH. You can pull it up yourself. I mean, it's not like I pay for any of this. This is all, you can pull any of these up. Forward curve on gold is higher. You can do all of these yourself. You can just type it in, GC1 exclamation point, any futures. And if you're like, I don't know the future to pull up for gold or whatever, that's cool. You can just click right here. You can click on the futures button and you type like, I want gold. There's the gold futures, right? GC. And you look for COMEX or ICE, or I think it's COMEX for most of them. And you'd be like, well, how about silver? SILVER. No, it's right there. SI. And you can go SI1 exclamation point right there. And there's silver. You're like, well, what's sugar? Right? There it is. SB right there. Sugar number 1. You're like, well, what's cocoa? Like I heard cocoa's crazy. So, hey. And it's like, oh, here it is. CC right there. Cocoa futures, C1 right there. ICE. Yeah. Some of them are ICE. And you'd be like, well, what's corn? Corn futures, ZC right there. Corn futures, ZC1 right there. CBOT. All right. And there you got the future selected. You could just kind of roll through and see if you can find what you're looking for. You have currencies and future currencies and T-notes and bonds and all sorts of stuff are in here. Coffee, crude, indexes. There's quite a few futures. And they keep going. And you see what country they're for. If you want just US ones, there you go. Quite a few. Ethanol, zinc. Interesting, right? And TradingView is free, so you can use TradingView. All right. Moving on back where we were. SBIT, short Bitcoin. That's probably coming back down if Bitcoin climbs. Could go out to 61, 65 at this point. Kind of set that up as a potential target up there. TTE. We need the US version. Learn all sorts of tools when you get me talking about stuff. All sorts of ways to do analysis in the markets. So at this point, I meant to use a line, not an oval. So the goal, drawing a trend line, I like to connect as many of the lows as possible. This was a diversion. If this is another one, if we don't just take it back higher, this is likely to get a bigger decline here. So be careful. It's indicating we could break down. Trend lines are the weakest of technical analysis, but it's very choppy and overlapping here. If we break back above this 618, maybe 76, 77 up there. ALV. Retracing may go down here a little lower. That's why I drew the box. Kind of expecting that to go a little lower after topping out there. HPAI, not enough candles to do squat with. SE broke back below the roadmap line and may go lower, but here's the deal. We're going to have to zoom out and talk about this. So we've been in this big corrective move. All right, this is a lower high, but there's potential that this is a reversal setup here after flushing on down, getting the lower low. So we have this low, we have this high right here. If we can hold in this zone or at the roadmap line where we are, push higher, make a higher high than these highs right back here, indicates we're going to take this back higher. Right now, though, be very, very cautious. This can easily go down here and make a lower low at 30. And NTES, NetEase, still would look better with a lower low here. There was a question last night I got on Snow. Like, would you buy it now? It met the minimum I was expecting, and I bought 1 share. All right. The minimum is not a reversal. The minimum is not necessarily the bottom. It could go lower. It could come all the way down here. Still possible. I bought 1 share. I'm willing to buy more. I need it to prove it to me. It's still way below the roadmap line on the daily chart. So watch out. This met the minimum for a lower low that I've been talking about for, feels like 2 years. I think it was 2 years. And May 22, June 22, or May 23, June, May 24. Yeah, 2 years. Can't do my math for some reason. So, yeah, it's still live. So watch out for this to be a bottom and to reverse. This is, I picked up 1 share so far. I believe in the technology they have. I've believed in other technology like Red Hat Linux before, and it paid out handsomely. At $100 a share, it's hard to buy 100 shares right now on that. I'm going to wait until it starts proving we've got a reversal formed. This was, looks like a final flush out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. May extend just a little lower. If the market gets a bigger flush out, this could go down with it. I'm cautious. All right, we could bottom down in the 60s. Could bottom way on down lower. I do like their data center software and what it does. Data center. So it's a fundamental meets technicals right there play. But I just have 1 share marker for now until it starts proving it. S&P doing a bullish thing. Come on. Can we break out of the funk? Here's the red zone. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. There's the bias for the day. I'll be back live 5 p.m. Set your reminder. 30 minutes of awesome coming up 5 p.m. There's the highs. Got to get through those. Overnight highs. Then we got to go beat this up here. If we can beat that, if we beat that zone, get above those prior highs right over here. All clear for now. Very, very careful. Very, very careful for the next week or so. Should take us a week to get up here, even if we're going to turn down. If we get there faster and break through, it may be indicative we're going higher high. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. If I said anything that was helpful, beneficial, you liked, give me a thumbs up on the video. Otherwise, I'll see you again at 5 p.m. today. 30 minutes of awesome. Bye for now.